Hello, everyone. My name is Miranda Rowley, and today I'll be presenting my research study titled Mental Health Effects on Academic Performance and Classroom Behavior. This study explores how mental health challenges may influence young students' success in school, both academically and behaviorally. Throughout this presentation, I'll discuss why this topic is important, summarize the existing research, explain my research methods, and conclude with the potential contributions this study could make. I chose this topic because through my experience working in kindergarten classes and different types of classrooms, I've seen firsthand how a child's emotional well being can affect their ability to learn and participate in class. While academic skills are often the main focus in schools, children's mental health plays a major role in their overall success. When students struggle with anxiety, depression, trauma, or other emotional challenges, it can affect their attention, behavior, relationship with peers, and their willingness to engage in learning. By better understanding these relationships, educators may be able to recognize concerns earlier on and provide support that helps students succeed both academically and socially. Mental health refers to a child's emotional, psychological, and social well being. Even at a very young age, children can experience challenges such as anxiety, depression, chronic stress, or the effects of trauma. Research has shown that these experiences can influence how children think, regulate their emotions, solve problems, and interact with others. Because kindergarten through second grade is such an important period for cognitive and social development, identifying mental health concerns early may help prevent larger academic and behavioral difficulties later in a child's education. Previous research has found that children experiencing mental health challenges are more likely to struggle academically and behaviorally. These students may have difficulty paying attention during instruction, completing assignments, following classroom expectations, or interacting positively with classmates. They may also participate less during classroom activities and show lower levels of academic engagement. While these relationships have been studied in older children and adolescents, there is still limited research focusing specifically on students in kindergarten through second grade. This gap in the literature is what my proposed study hopes to address. The three main research questions that are guiding my study are: how do mental health challenges in early childhood affect children's learning results in the classroom? How do mental health challenges affect children's classroom behavior? And what is the relationship between mental health challenges in early childhood and children's academic engagement in the classroom? Based on previous research, I developed three hypotheses. First, I expect the students experiencing greater mental health challenges will demonstrate lower academic engagement. Second, I expect these students will display more behavioral concerns in the classroom. And finally, I hypothesize that students with greater mental health challenges will demonstrate lower overall learning outcomes. Together, these hypotheses examine how emotional well being might influence several important aspects of early childhood education. This study would include approximately 100 kindergarten through second grade students attending public elementary schools. Participants would be identified by classroom teachers based on the study's inclusion criteria. Before any observations begin, informed consent would be obtained from parents or guardians, and age appropriate assent would also be obtained from the children. These procedures ensure that participation is voluntary and that ethical guidelines for research involving children are followed. After receiving approval from the school and obtaining parent consent and child assent, classroom observations would begin. Students would be observed during normal classroom activities over multiple observation sessions. During each observation, the researcher would record information about students' academic engagement, classroom behavior, and participation. No classroom instruction would be interrupted, and all information collected would remain confidential by assigning identification numbers rather than using students' names. In this study, the independent variable is students' mental health challenges, while the dependent variables include academic engagement, classroom behavior, and overall learning outcomes. Data would be collected through structured classroom observation forms and field notes. These observational measures allow researchers to collect information within the students' natural classroom environment without disrupting their daily routines. This study involves minimal risk for participants because observations would occur during regular classroom activities without change in instruction. Confidentiality would be carefully maintained by removing identifying information and securely storing all collected data. Although participants may not receive direct benefits, the study could provide valuable information for educators, school counselors, and families by improving our understanding of how mental health influences learning and behavior in young children. This knowledge could ultimately contribute to earlier identification and more effective interventions. In conclusion, mental health plays a very important role in children's academic achievement, their classroom behavior, and overall school experience. Although many studies have explored this relationship among older students, there is still a huge need for additional research involving children in kindergarten through second grade. If conducted, this study could contribute meaningful information that helps educators better recognize mental health concerns and implement early interventions that support both students' academic success and emotional well being. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my presentation.